Hello students. Today we are starting the chapter biology, chapter number 8, respiration and circulation. We are very much aware this COVID-19 infective our respiratory system. So here we are getting a chance to learn about in detail about the respiratory system. So first, whenever we ask the question what is respiration, student always answer like taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide is called respiration. But it is not respiration. Taking in oxygen is called inhalation, giving out carbon dioxide is called exhalation. Both are called breathing. Breathing is not respiration. Breathing is the part of respiration. Respiration is basically related to production of energy. Whenever we talk about energy, we always think about food. So food contains the potential energy and that has to convert into usable form of energy, that is ATP. This conversion of food into ATP is called respiration. So respiration basically takes place for the production of energy inside each and every cell of our body. That's why it is also called as cellular respiration. Here it is, the definition of respiration is given. We'll go for this. Respiration is the biochemical process. It is a biological process where the oxidation of organic compounds takes place. Organic compound means whatever the food we are eating, the food is the organic compound. Oxidation, that food combines with oxygen. So undergo oxidation in an orderly manner. So it is not a dashing process, one step process. It is a stepwise process. Slowly it takes place for liberation of chemical energy in the form of ATP. So ATP is produced, that is our usable form of energy from the food. When it undergo oxidation, produces the ATP. This is the whole definition for respiration. While this we can see the equation now. Here one molecule of glucose combined with 6 molecule of oxygen produces 38 molecule of ATP along with 6 molecule of carbon dioxide and 6 molecule of water. So this is the whole definition for respiration, which we are going to learn along with the equation. Next we will see the organs of respiration. In case of human being, we are having lungs for respiration, and lungs are just spongy organs which can be expanded the surface. So many animals, all animals are having the respiratory organs which are having certain features, characters. The respiratory organ should have large surface area so the exchange of gases can easily takes place. And second character, it should be thin as well as highly vascular. Vascular means the blood supply should be proper, so it will allow the exchange of gases properly. And third thing, it should be moist, it should not be dry. So these are the features, three features of the respiratory organs for proper exchange of gases. Next we will see the gases exchange in plants. In case of human being, we are having nose to take the oxygen inside and giving out the carbon dioxide. So in case of plants, they are also having tiny nose, that is called as stomata and lenticels. Even plants also do the gases exchange by the simple process called diffusion. By simple diffusion, they do gaseous exchange. You can see in case of plants, the leaves are having tiny microscopic openings are called stomatal pore. Through this stomatal pore, air enters inside and carbon dioxide oxygen enter inside, and some excretory gases that and extra water vapor, that all comes out through this opening. This is the stomatal opening. They are microscopic, which we cannot see on the surface of leaf, which are very tiny. But in case of, first is the stomata, which are there on the leaves and young stems. In case of old woody plants, we have lenticels. Lenticels are the small openings on the bark or the woody flowering plants, trees or shrubs, and that is there for exchange of gases, which you can see in the naked eye. So the plants are having two types of nose. One is microscopic, is called stomata, and second one, which you can see in the naked eye, is called lenticels. Next we will see the respiratory organs in case of animals. Respiration in animals. All animals do the respiration, and the respiratory organ in animals, depending on the type of their body, organization of their body type, as well as the habitat where they are living. Animals who are living in the water, they require a different respiratory system, and terrestrial animals, they also require different type of respiratory system. So here there is a list. We'll see a list. Yeah, this is the list of the different types of respiratory system in different type of animals, starting from the simple animals to the complex forms. You can see over here, the first one is Protista. Amoeba belongs to Protista. Protista sponges as well as Coelenterata, they are all exclusively aquatic, living in water. So in this case, their respiratory organ is nothing but the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. Through the plasma membrane, the gases diffuse, oxygen diffuse into the body, into the cell, and carbon dioxide comes out. Second one, in case of flatworms like planaria as well as annelids, example of annelids are earthworm, leech, nereis. In those cases, you will see they are having moist skin. The skin surface is moist, as well as the plasma membrane is used for exchange of gases. In case of insects, all of you know cockroach, housefly, butterfly, dragonfly, all those insects are aerial or terrestrial. Basically they are having tracheal tubes as well as spiracles for respiration. Spiracles are window-like structures which are connected by tracheal tubes, which carry the air into the body where the exchange of gases takes place. Come to the next, arachnids. Arachnids are example are spiders or scorpions. These are all terrestrial, all of you know. They are having a special organ, book lungs. The arachnids are arthropods. They are having book lungs for respiration. Here the lungs is looks like a book, having the pages of a book, so it is called book lungs. And second arthropod is given over here is limulus. Limulus is called horseshoe crab. The crab looks like a horseshoe. It is aquatic, so it is having gills. It is also called book gills. We'll see. I will show you the picture of this too. See this. This one is the book lung. Book lung in case of who is having book lungs? Scorpions and spiders. You can see over here the air enters over here through this, and here the body fluid flows, and they are coming in contact. Here the air goes and the fluid comes very close to the lamellae where the exchange of gases takes place in case of arachnids. Here the arrangement of the lamellae looks like the pages of the paper, so it is called like this, book lungs. We will see the horseshoe crab. In case of horseshoe crab, you will see the book gills. The gills are there you can see the horseshoe crab is also having book gills. You can it on the ventral surface, and it is aquatic, so it is having gills for respiration. Here also the gills lamellae are arranged on like the stacks, so it's called as book gills. So the arthropods are having both respiration by book gills as well as book lungs, depending on the habitat where they are living. Next comes to the amphibians. Amphibians means frogs, toads, and all these things. Tadpole larva of the frog. These are all aquatic, so they are all having gills, external gills for respiration. All of you know the external gills are also there in case of salamander and newts. They are also amphibians. Next is the fish. Fish are having internal gills. Gills are covered by operculum. Reptiles. The next one is reptile, birds, and mammals. These are all higher order animals, so they are having lungs for respiration. Basically, they are aerial or terrestrial. Even though in aquatic mammals like dolphin and whales, they are also having lungs for respiration. Last one is the turtles, which are living in the underwater, deep under the water. They are having cloaca for exchange of gases. Now the cloaca is near to the anal side. So this is all about the different types of animals having different type of respiratory organs for exchange of gases. Next we will discuss the respiratory system in human being in the next video. Thank you.